Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Hindi CBSE Classroom. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button next to it so that you will get notification whenever I post a new video. I have created separate playlist in my channel for each and every class separately. So kindly go to my channel, click on the playlist and select accordingly. So let's start today's topic. Today's topic is class 5 chapter 15 Bishen ki Dileri. Bishen is a kid's name and Dileri means courage. So Bishen's courage. So let's get started. सुबह का समय था. It was morning and the sun was peeping from the mountains. So Bishen was a 10-year-old boy who used to go daily to Colonel Datta's farmhouse. Farm. Why? Because Colonel Datta's wife would help him in his studies. That is, she would take tuition for him. So for that morning, daily early morning, he would go to Colonel Datta's house. So on the way in the apple orchard farm, spraying of pesticides was taking place and the work had started very early. बिशन पगडंडी से अभी सड़क तक आ ही रहा था कि उसे गोली चलने की आवाज सुनाई दी. So Bishen was just stepping into road from the narrow footpath from his home and he suddenly heard the sound of firing. So he looked around, what happened, what was the sound, but no one was there. So he kept on moving. Then again the sound of firing came. Not one but two to three bullets at the same time were shot. And the whole valley had erupted at the sound of gunfire. And birds also got terrified, scared, and they were doing like round and round in the sky. So Bishen also got scared. छिपकर खड़ा हो गया. So Bishen really got scared and he stood there hiding behind the trees. Bishen जहाँ खड़ा था वह चुपचाप खड़ा रहा. So Bishen stood silently where he was standing. खेत और बैलों का भाग साफ दिखाई दे रहा था. So from there the staircase, fields and the fruit orchard were clearly visible. Farmers were also seen working in the fields. So the crops were ready for the harvest. It was that time of the season where the harvesting was going to start. धूप में खेत सुनहरे दिखाई दे रहे थे. The fields were looking golden in the mild sunlight. बिशन अभी सोच ही रहा था कि गोली किसने और क्यों चलाई गई. So Bishen was still wondering who would have fired the bullet and suddenly another bullet also was shot. And the Bishen understood why the bullets were shot. Why the bullets were shot? So why the bullet was shot? When crops get ready, a lot of pheasants. Pheasants is like a type of bird that comes to eat the crops. Come in the wheat fields to eat. So hunters know this. So that is why they come early in the morning in order to kill the pheasants. पिछले साल भी शिकारियों ने इसी तरह बहुत से तीतर मारे थे. So last year also in the same way hunters killed many pheasants in the similar way. They picked up some pheasants and left the rest of them there itself. They'll pick some to eat, but rest of them what they'll do, they'll leave there and they'll go. Farm will find many dead and injured pheasants while cutting the crops because this is the harvest season. So they'll find some dead pheasants there. Bishen thought. Bishen ने सोचा कितना दुख पहुंचाने वाला काम करते हैं लोग. What a hurtful job these hunters do. He understood that hunters are firing bullets at pheasants. So he came out of the trees that there is nothing to worry about. He is safe and started walking along the edge of the field. On the way, he was thinking that these hunters should be taught a lesson. But how could he teach them a lesson? He couldn't figure out how. सिखाए तभी इसके पास में सरहाट सी हुई. So suddenly what happened? A movement happened or rustle happened near his feet. He saw an injured pheasant was struggling because it got stuck in the rings of the feet. Bishen वही घुटनों के बैल बैठ गया. उसने घायल तीतर को पकड़ने के लिए हाथ बढ़ाया. So Bishen sat there on his knees and took the injured pheasant in his hand. But the scared pheasant ran away. Because he was very scared because he was shot and went inside the field. Bishen also knew that the hunters will not be able to find the pheasant. And then what will happen? This injured pheasant will lay here and die. So how to catch but because the bird was running away all the time. So how to catch it? So what he did, he removed his sweater and seeing the right time, he just dropped it on the pheasant in order to catch it. Then Bishen caught it and when the pheasant got trapped in the sweater, Bishen clutched it to his chest and came out of the field and ran towards the hill so that even the hunters will not find him. वह इतना तेज चल रहा था मानो उसके पंख लग गए थे. He was walking so fast as if he had feathers. कर्नल दत्ता के घर के रास्ते में एक तरफ गेहूं के खेत थे, दूसरी तरफ कटीले तारों की बाड़. So on the way of Colonel Datta's house, there was wheat field on one side and other side the barbed wire fence was there. So he would usually cross the fence and go, but today he was holding the pheasant, so he couldn't go through it. So what he did, he started walking along the fields. But he was on the same time he was also trying to hide from the hunters, because if the hunters see him, what will happen? They'll take the bird away from him. He went a little away and a loud voice came from behind. What was the voice? It was some hunters. Boy, stop or else I'll shoot you. लेकिन बिशन नहीं रुका. But Bishen did not stop. He kept on walking quietly. Then again that person asked, you will stop or not? The man shouted again. By the time Bishen had reached the barbed wire, बिशन के कटीले ताने वहाँ दिल तेजी से डर. He was so scared. His heart was beating very fast because he was very scared and it seemed difficult to move forward, but still somehow he did not stop and he did not respond also. Bishen could hear the sound of heavy shoes, but still he kept on walking fast. Then मैं तुझे देख लूँगा, तू मेरा शिकार चुरा कर ले जा नहीं सकता. So what the hunter said, I'll see, you can't do this, you can't steal my prey and go, stop there. But there was no escape route for Bishen. So what he did, he went by road, and the hunter, if he went by road, then what will happen? The hunter can clearly see him. So he decided he will bend down and go through the fields and run away. But there were so many thorny bushes on the way in the field, so Bishen started walking on his knees so that hunter can't see him. Even after walking very carefully, he scratched his hands and feet because of the thorny bushes. But somehow he managed. Even his shirt sleeves ripped up, but somehow he managed, and he was happy inside because he was somehow saving the life of the pheasant. बहुत ज़्यादा थी. झाड़ी से बाहर आकर वह सोचने लगा. So coming out of the bush, he started thinking how to go down this hill, because the grass was too high in that corner of the hill and it was also slippery due to the dew in the morning. So Bishen got very scared, but किनारे बैठ गया, थक गया, but he became very tired, so he sat on one side there. He just sat down and suddenly what happened? He heard some sound of feet. Someone was approaching him. आहट सुनते ही वह उठकर दौड़ पड़ा. As soon as he heard the sound, he got up and ran away. He almost had crossed halfway. So उसके कपड़े पसीने से दब गए थे. His clothes were drenched with sweat. Still he did not stop and somehow reached the backyard of Colonel Datta's farmhouse. He was so relieved because finally he reached there. And the backyard door was open. So somehow hiding from those hunters, he reached the farmhouse and he was holding the pheasant to his chest with a great care so that it won't go anywhere. Farmhouse में खामोशी थी. So farmhouse, there was a silence in the farmhouse, but the sound of the pressure cooker whistle was coming from the kitchen. The hens were still in their cage because it was early in the morning, and Gulab Chand was cleaning the front porch. Gulab Chand would be some servant in the house. अचानक कर्नल साहब का अल्सेशियन कुत्ता जोर जोर से भौंकने लगा. Suddenly what happened? Suddenly Colonel Sahib's Alsatian dog started barking loudly. He only barks when he sees a stranger. So Bishen understood that hunters have come here. So what he did now, next what he has to do, he has to hide somewhere this bird. So what he did, he looked around and he saw like how he can save this pheasant. So on one side there is a lot of junk accumulated in the shed, and he saw also a broken basket was there. So what he thought I'll place it there, place the pheasant there and hide it. So टूटी टोकरी बिशन को दिखाई दी. ये ठीक है सोचते हुए इसने तितर की टोकरी में रखकर स्वेटर से ढक दिया. हाँ, he kept in the broken basket and then he hid it with the sweater. अब चलकर देखना चाहिए. After he hid the pheasant, no, he thought, okay, now I'll go and walk and come and see what happened. But then he thought, no, 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 if I go there, they'll understand I'm the same boy who was running. So what he did, he somehow climbed up on the roof because he was already used to that, so it was not a big task for him. So he climbed up the roof and but it was a very sloping roof, but somehow he managed and he reached the roof and he hid there. The roof was very slippery, so he hid behind a chimney so that he can see everyone there, but they cannot see them. Okay, they cannot see him. So he saw that two hunters were coming there, and seeing them, Colonel Sahib's Alsatian dog started barking again. Then what happened? Colonel ने कुत्ते को डांटा. Colonel scolded the dog and he said, "Shut up." But he did not stop. He stood with both his back legs and started even barking even more louder. When the two hunters came closer, the colonel asked in a hoarse voice, "Who are you? Why have you come here?" Like that. "Sahib, हम शिकारी हैं. Sir, we are hunters. We come here every year for hunting. And we also have licensed guns, and even Sarpach Madhav Singh knows about us." So Colonel said, "Oh, okay. So your gunshots were only echoing since morning." And he said, "Why have you come here?" So the hunter said, "Actually, we came here because we saw a boy who came running, hiding here because he had a pheasant of ours whom we hunted, but the boy ran away with it." So he asked them, "Oh, so for that you have come here. So what do you do with this pheasant you kill?" So the hunter said, "It's an obvious answer. सीधी बात है साहब, खाते हैं. What we just eat it." So the Colonel Datta, he became very angry and he said, like, "What hurtful things you do. Why you people are like this? You come and kill so many pheasants every year. So you eat some and after injuring the others, what you do? You just leave them here to die. And when the crops are harvested, many dead pheasants are found every year by the farmers." He said in a very angry and like scolding voice. He said, so those people got very scared. They didn't expect the colonel would like scold him like that. And he said, "Now both of you just go away from here. There is no pheasant here. You just go away and hunt whatever is left in the field." So they listened to the Colonel Datta and they went away from there. So Bishen was watching everything from the roof. When the hunters left, he came down and quickly he called the colonel's wife and he said, Madam Ji, please come quickly. I have a injured pheasant with me. So come and see it, please." So after hearing the Bishen's voice, Colonel Datta also came inside and said, "Oh, so you were the one who stole the pheasant. You were the one whom hunters were coming after." So he was sad. He said, "What can I do, Babuji? It got hurt a lot, and if I hadn't brought it, it would have died there." So he asked, "Now what will you do with it?" He said, "I will raise him, Babuji. I will make him my pet." So Colonel Sahib, seeing this, he also became happy because he was doing a good job. So he said, "Okay, then bring the box of medicines." So Bishen brought the medicines and Colonel Datta cleared all these wounds of pheasant and applied medicine, and he also taped it so that the feathers won't move much and it will easily get healed. And he also asked the Bishen to give a juice of marigold leaves 2 or 3 times a day so that the injury will get cured very fast. So he said, okay, I'll give, because Bishen wanted to pet it. तब तक बहूजी एक कटोरी में दलिया ले आई. तीतर को दलिया खिलाते हुए बोला. And by then the Datta's wife brought some porridge to the pheasant in order to feed it. And she asked Bishen to give oatmeal daily to the pheasant, so that because pheasant likes porridge very much. तब तो यह बिशन के पीछे पीछे ही घूमता रहेगा, कर्नल ने हंसते हुए कहा. सो कर्नल ऑल्सो क्रैक्ड अ जोक दैट इफ यू गिव porridge daily to the pheasant, then it will just follow you everywhere, so you will also be happy. Then he also asked, do you know how the pheasant speaks? Then what Bishen said, Bishen, put his hand on his mouth and he made a noise, quack, quack, quack. And so both of them start laughing out loud, and Bishen was so happy and he jumped like a deer with Fess in his hand and ran away towards his house because he got a new pet for him. So that is the chapter all about. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.